Hello, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for watching. If it's your first time tuning in, welcome. My name is Meah. You're watching The Planted Life, all things growth, grounding, and creative entrepreneurship. Today I'm talking briefly about how I did at the most recent artist market that I participated in. I am a community and I participated in a sale last weekend. Today, I went to pick up my earnings from that event and I am prepared to share them live. Which is something, but yeah, I'm prepared to share that live. And I don't know, let's see, this particular time or this particular go round for the sale, I included things like plates. I had a few mugs. I had plate and or I had saw other sets. I had, let's see, what else did I have? I had a few spoon rests. I had some garlic ginger presses. Excuse me. Excuse me, I'm tired. What else did I have for sale? Small vessels, a few vases, not really vases though, planters, excuse me. I had a few planters for sale and I even decided to add my book to the pottery table, my poetry book that I wrote over 15 years ago now, called Color Me Beautiful and other, let's see, if you were to see my video regarding setting up for the sale, I was kind of feeling stressed out on the day for the day of the setup for the sale. So you could probably, well, no, or maybe you might not have been able to see it in my face. I don't know. I had taken a picture before I started recording. Whenever I record, it's a little bit different than how I might be feeling on that particular day. But that day was interesting. That was a Friday. And I wasn't really feeling that I really wanted to complete for the sale. So I was feeling a little bit bummed out about that. That plus some other things that I have going on in my life. Um, but I pushed through all of that and I was able to set up for the sale. My display looked very nice. I was able to, during the sale, or I went to the artist market. I brought my mom with me to the artist market, and I was glad that I went to the not artist market, excuse me, I meant artist reception. Went to the artist reception. The artist reception was nice. There's always food and wine. I brought some chicken wings. So shout out to, I do nice for them chicken wings. I'm talking about did the wings. Okay. Anywho, let's see. Sunday brought a few more people to the sale. Um, in general. But again, I'm not very good at this spreading the word about what I have going on because marketing. So that'll be something that I'm gonna work on. Um, let's see what else do I want to say really briefly before I get into how much I earned. On Sunday, you might see some footage or maybe some B-roll regarding the sale. I'll probably try to put a video together or something. I don't know. Um, let's see what else on Sunday. Nothing else on Sunday. We cleaned up the space, so you might have seen that live video where we were cleaning up the space. Typically it takes us maybe between 20 and 30 minutes to clean up. This time it took us 25 minutes to clean up and reset the studio how it normally looks. Yeah, so anywho, let's get into this money, y'all, because that's really what you came here for today. Let's get into seeing how much money the Meah made. Okay, so as you can see, this is a sealed envelope camera. Okay, so this reaction is very genuine. I'm not gonna do it. I didn't do it live, so you're catching this as a replay. Like I recorded it live so that it would be proofs, but public live. And so if you're watching this, it's because it's a replay live. Okay. Anywho, so let's open up my earnings. Drum roll, please. Now, I will say Actually, hold on. Let me talk briefly about. Oh no, let's continue. Let's continue. Okay, so my this is my invoice. This is my invoice. Okay. Oh wow, I did better than I thought I did. Ah, that's good. So it says Meah's Way. Items sold. Okay, I sold 35 items, 454.40 with an 80/20 commission split. So I got paid $363.52. Now, let me talk briefly about what all sold. So let me go get my notebook real quick and I'll be right back. Oh, excuse the mess. That's just boxes in the background. I've been ordering stuff because Black Friday was recently or whatever, so I'm shopping for myself for the holiday. Um, okay, so 352. Okay, so let's talk about this, and this is gonna be real brief because like I said, I'm tired. I got some other stuff I needed to get done, but this is my little notebook. I did take an account of um, what I noticed that I brought to the sale versus what I did not bring back home with me, or particular items I would make note of them as they were removed from the table, or if there were particular things that I thought might move. So let's talk about the dollars. I think I thought I actually did better than I thought I did because based on my calculations on what was not at the table, I had calculated that I might make about $300 after commission. So that means that some items sold that I kind of didn't account for, perhaps. But let's talk briefly about what did sell. Or well, no, I don't know if I want to go into that. We can make that for a separate video, but actually, we might make all of that for a separate video. I'm kind of tired right now, and plus, I think I need to itemize what types of items sold. But I will say that with making that amount of money, one of the things that continues to sell for me is mugs. I caught myself this time making plates and things. But I believe that the thing that I make that sells the most would be mugs. So I think what I'm going to do is I will go back to my original idea and focus on mugs. And I'm going to just make a note to myself because those items move the most. Um, what I will say, things that did not sell very well for me was plates. um, and perhaps for artist markets, I think those might be a little bit difficult to transport if I were just to make a wild guess um, as to why a plate might not sell during an artist market because of portability. People are walking around a space and they're looking to find different things that they could carry but easily. Not only that, people might have their hands full already. Nobody wants to walk around an artist market carrying plates. So for plates, reasons, that might not be the thing that I will focus on for another artist market unless it was a specialty plate. I noticed there was one young lady, she had special designs on her plates. So I think maybe one plate with a special design may be more impactful than trying to sell an actual plate set or a dinner set at an artist market. Okay, another thing that did not sell, maybe I had maybe 7 available. Getting another pencil. I had maybe 7 available, and those just did not sell for me. I don't know if it had to do with the type of plant that was there. I don't know if it had to do with the season, if I were to make a wild guess. Our planters are or can be heavy. These particular planters were not heavy. They were like handhold size, like this, or handheld size. However, portability, I'm thinking about that might have been the issue, or just the straight up simple fact that it's cold. People might not really been trying to do that. That might do better in the spring, so I know that now. Okay, another thing I was surprised. Well, not necessarily. Yeah, I was surprised. I had a teacup saucer set with I had my Michigan teacup saucer sets. That item did not move. But in hindsight, I did not and I had the mug, but the price was only on the plate. Even though the plate said two-piece set, I was thinking in my mind, I'm thinking, oh, when people pick up the mug, the price is on the plate. But most times when people pick up an item, they might be turning it over to see if it what the price is. So that might have been my own error, because the last sale last year in December, I had Michigan mugs by themselves, no saucers, and they were taller, and I had them at the same pricing point that I bottom of the mug, because there was only a mug, there wasn't a saucer. So that might have been my error as to why those didn't sell. So that was what, about like at least $50 of missed revenue. Um, so next time I will make sure to have prices on every item in the set. Put a price on every item in the set, um, in a set. Put a price on every item in a set. Okay. Now, another thing that did not sell very well for me this time, but I didn't have that many. Another thing that I noticed, people didn't even really pick those items up. Well, no, I had two juicers and one ring holder. Well, no, I had one juicer, one ring holder, and one that could have been a juicer or a ring holder, but it was probably better suited as a ring holder or maybe a bracelet holder, because the ridges in the rung where you would juice, they weren't that ridgy, if that meant, or they weren't, it was too smooth, so it probably would have been better suited as like a bracelet holder. So those items did not sell. I don't know if maybe people didn't know what they were. Maybe I needed to demonstrate like what the item was, for people to get it. Definitely I will make the ring holders again, but maybe the juicers might be, juicers, I think I might need to work on the shape. Honestly, if I were to be honest with myself, work on maybe the shape and the design of how I do a juicer. Um, and then I might revisit that concept, then revisit it. But we'll take juicers out the equation. But it's good to try new things, because that way you see what works and you see what doesn't work for you. Um, So work on shape of design and then revisit. Okay. But yeah, majority of things that sold were mugs. And it says that I sold 35 things, but by my count, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 26. I only got 26 items accounted for. So that's a big discrepancy. 26. I counted 26. They count 35. So maybe some people bought some books from me. I don't know. Because I honestly don't know how many books I brought. So another recommendation for myself, would be, and for any other person that's going to do an artist market, would really to take an inventory beforehand. You got to be diligent about taking your inventory of what you have to sell, of what you have for sale. That way you know your numbers. I honestly did not know my numbers. I think I had like maybe 6 for sale. But if I count 26 that I sold and they count 35, that's a big inventory discrepancy. And it should not occur. But again, you know, this ceramics thing for me is migrating from hobby to viable business. So there are going to be some um, kinks and growing pains, you know, that said. So anywho, I'm really excited about my check. I'm excited about my check. I'm gonna deposit my because let's see, for the amount that I made, I'll be able to pay for. Let's see, if I was to divvy it up, I could probably. I need. There are some glazes that I really need to purchase because I'm running out, but I might table the glaze purchases. But no, I kind of can't. Well, I guess I could. I could table the glaze purchases and maybe really just focus on making inventory or perfecting my shapes and listing the items for sale on my website that did not sell during the sale. So let me just, I'm talking to the camera. Let me just write down my action. I got a couple of action items. Um, so another thing that I would recommend is it's not a debriefing, but like an after action report. So I think in the interest of this, I'm going to create myself an after action report. The after action report, deposit, obviously, deposit the money, deposit the check. Since I earned 363, I could pay for 2 months worth of membership at the studio. So that takes us into January, February. That'll take us into February. The sale might be in March. So January, February with a sale in March. So basically, money, like budget the money that I have in the account or balance my book essentially. In addition to balancing my book, we'll focus on inventory. Or no, first focus is focus on well no you do I do have to do inventory. Focus on inventory management. Management. Inventory management. I'm writing all this down. Focus on inventory management. The next thing that we have to do is take photographs of all the work. Photograph the work. And we have upload the work to the website. For sale. These are not necessarily in order, but we also have to consider the shipping solutions because the question would be now if I'm going to sell the stuff on the website, how am I, like, what is my supply? Well, no, what is my logistic plan? Like, how am I going to get my wares to the customer, to the end user? So I have to consider shipping solutions and supplies. So I might have to factor that into my budget. I also have to maybe consider selling on a larger platform, like on a larger platform that has more marketing than just my website. For example, a maker website or a maker friendly website such as Etsy, or if there's another one out there, I don't know. Consider selling on a larger platform. Basically, next we will perfect the technique. Perfect the technique and test. And test this. And that is the gist of the after action report, I think. Yeah, I think that's the after action report in a nutshell. Perfect the technique and test new design ideas. Um, yeah, that's much it. So, thanks for watching. This video went a little longer than I planned it for it to, but you did see my live reaction on how much I earned at the most recent artist market that I participated in. We also talked about items that sold, items that didn't sell for me. Um, and we've created an after action report. So, by watching this video, I hope maybe you get some ideas on how you can better reel in your business, your own business, creative business, and come up with different ideas for you to flourish and be able to make money for yourself and your business. So, again, oh, be sure to drop a comment, like if you have questions, or maybe you want to share with me what works for you or what's working for you. Please feel free to drop me a line in the comment section. Thanks so much for watching, and goodbye, good night, good morning, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Bye.